feel like it's all about networking in college because once I got there, it was on my mind I need to stay here. So I did whatever I needed to do to be there. Whether that meant I was in the financial aid office in June because we got out of school in May.
Sure.
Like, what scholarships y'all got? You say I need to be left-handed? You say what religion I need to be? Welcome to another episode of Krisp Konversations. I'm your host, Kris, and these are my co-hosts. Say what's up, y'all.
Hey, y'all, it's Ashley.
I'm Alana. Try Jesus, don't try me.
What's happening, y'all? It's Sean D. White, and the D is for degree. Degree is what I have. Yes.
He giving it away already.
Right, already instantly.
As usual, we're playing the drinking game. The word of the day will be college. Every time you hear college, take a sip. As usual, we're going to keep it loose, raw, and have fun. But most importantly, we're going to say that shit.
Say that shit.
One day you're going to say it.
Right.
The topic of the day is about college. With that being said, let's get into our first question. What influenced y'all to go to college after high school?
I need to be drinking, by the way. She said college.
Bro, we're going to die on this.
Right, I'm like, we already drunk.
I know, for me, I had lived in North Carolina my whole life, Charlotte. So I was just ready to go. Like, that was my first decision. Like, I need to get out of the Carolinas and see what else is around. The second part is, I was always excited to go to college. Because I remember watching certain shows growing up, like The Cosby Show, Fresh Prince, and stuff like
You
that.
want to go to Hillman?
A Different World. I was just watching them be like, man, this is so neat. This need to be me. So Those are the top two reasons why.
Okay, so I really didn't think about going to college until we all went to high school together. So y'all probably remember this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all gotta stop missing it, please.
We had a project in high school. Shout out to Ms. Moore.
Right. Yeah, oh, I remember.
Called a PSIP.
Yes.
And so it was post-secondary something option, whatever.
Educational plan or
Something.
like that.
Okay, I don't remember what it was. But you had to either apply to college
Oh, God. This is going to be...
or the armed forces. And it was like 90% of our grades. So it was like, do this
You
project
had to do
fail.
it or fail.
So, that's actually what got me to apply to college. I applied to, I found this little thing where,
She said it again.
I found this website or this program that will allow you to apply to 36 HBCUs for $35.
That was great. Why
And
didn't
I-
you tell us about that? Because, well, again, we went to school together. Anyways, continue.
My
Sorry.
bad.
Sorry.
So, I don't know, Google search. I don't even remember how I found it.
That we all went to college. It's good for keep going.
So, I had two choices.
College.
I had three choices. Well, I had two choices, and then I found the program. So, University of Tennessee was my number one choice. No, my number one choice was USC. Number two was University of Tennessee. I had got in there my junior year. And then I applied to these HBCUs, and I paid my $35. I got accepted to all 36 schools. But I didn't get my letter for Clark Atlanta until the week of graduation. Graduating from high school.
Wow.
Right? So, I was banking on going to University of Tennessee. I got into USC. My grandma was like, hell no, that's in California. I don't know how you're going to get back and forth. So
Airplanes did exist back then, but
they did, but the money didn't.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right, Tennessee, we can drive there, da 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 da. But my third choice was Clark Atlanta. And once I got the letter for that, shout out to CAU.
Shout out to the Panthers.
I said I'll be there, and that's pretty much how I got influenced to go to college, was from a project in our 12th grade year.
So, just growing up in Atlanta, always seeing people wearing their nail all around the neighborhood. That was just something I always wanted to do. My teachers influenced me, older cousins, everybody around me. And so we were in computer technology or something in the computer lab, and we had to look up colleges and tell the teacher what we liked about it. And so
We gonna
I
end it
I ended up on YouTube and I saw a video of Morris Brown, Bubbling Brown Sugar Dancers.
Oh.
That was it for me. I knew I was going to be a Bubbling Brown Sugar. They lost their accreditation, so I did not.
I would
Get back.
But
Shout out to Morris Brown. And so regardless, whatever school, I wasn't very familiar with all the schools, but I knew that I was going to be in somebody's HBCU dancing, and I did. Howard was my first choice. I wanted to go to Howard. FAMU until I found out that they didn't have a dance line, so that was a scratch. But Howard, Spelman, and Clark, I knew that I would be there. Any one of those three, since I was in middle school, I said I'm going to one of these colleges, and I did end up going to Clark.
I also did have 2 older cousins that went to college before me. And they definitely helped guide me through the process. Shout out to Chelsea and Melissa. They're my sister cousins.
Right. Shout out to them.
And yeah.
I actually went to school because of my cousin. She was going. She was the first one in my family to go. So I was trying to follow in her footsteps. I went to Fort Valley. But she was my big influence, the reason why I went. My family was just like, I mean, if you go, you go. If you don't, you don't. What you want to do is whatever you want to do. I want to support you. But I went to college because of her. So shout out to Courtney.
Okay.
All right, Courtney. All right, so like y'all remember when y'all got y'all acceptance letter? What was the feedback you got from your family? Was everybody happy? You had some haters. We all got a hater or two in the family. So like, what was the feedback when y'all got y'all acceptance letters?
My parents were happy. I didn't really pay attention to anyone else that I was related to. I refer to everyone as family. But yeah, my parents were very happy for me, and wanted to see me do well and stuff like that. So that's the main thing that I remember from that.
My family was either way, whether you go or you don't go. I more so was
that PSEP said you
right.
go to the Army.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it was for me. Without doing that project, it wouldn't have been a big deal whether I went to school or not. So when I got accepted, I was like, yeah, I got accepted, but it's going to this project folder. It wasn't no more. It wasn't a big deal for me at the time. So because really, to be honest,
like,
I didn't make
literally had no idea.
I didn't make no decision.
Changed my life.
It had no idea. Not a
like, I gotta pass this.
Yeah,
not like this is the next step of my life.
Yeah, yeah. So it didn't matter to me as long as I got an A on that project. I was like, okay, I got these letters accepted. Okay, great, cool. It's in this binder. Miss Moore, here's your project.
Yeah,
can you give me mine? Can you?
Yes, we did. Yes.
So yeah, it was like, here, okay, I'm done with this project. Give me my grade so I can make sure I walk across the stage. It wasn't anything else after that.
And the project wasn't depending on whether or not you got into college. You had to apply.
Oh, she said the word again.
And you had to register to vote, or you had to have a meeting with a recruiter about the military services. So
the pressure that they put on us, we didn't realize what they was helping us do.
I left my PC at home the day it was due. I was like, I spent all this time. I spent all that time just to leave it at home.
And your mama was at school every day though. She had to come up there and bring it to you.
I asked my teacher if I say I went to the bathroom, will you just not tell anybody? Because I am not gonna fail the 12th grade. Because I did. I went home and got it and came right back. But my family everybody was excited. They were just asking, what do you need? What do you need? I don't know. I don't really know.
I didn't think I was
anybody
really doing
in my house. I don't know the next steps to take. So it was a lot of love and a lot of help, and from all different people. Family, friends, my friends' parents, trying to prepare, helping me and my friends prepare with giving us binders that I probably never looked through. But I had a lot of community preparing me, telling me this is what you need.
Once we found out we were going to the same school,
once we found out we were going to the same school, we applied to for the living arrangements to be roommates.
And they still got it wrong.
So we were
Shout out to
actually,
the sweet
weren't we across
life.
the
Yeah, we were
hall?
across the hall from each other,
Mm-hmm.
but we tried to be roommates with each other. But the feedback I got from my family was, it was exciting, but they were just like, oh, we already knew. Like, you're a nerd. And I'm like, but I'm really not that nerdy. I just be playing this way, but it's cool. I don't know. But I was excited. I did the summer program in Clark, Atlanta, because I really just wanted to get out of my house. And then I did, remember the 10-day CAU experience, the 10-day CAU experience. So I stayed there for that too. So I was just ready to go.
You were trying to be on campus.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. My next question is, do y'all use y'all degrees? Like, what are your degrees in, and have you been doing a career that fulfills your degree?
Absolutely not.
You said that the right way. No, yeah, I have been using it. I got my degree in journalism. Shout out to Georgia State University. Just in communications the whole time. It's kind of funny because going back to CAU, when I first met you, I had huge aspirations of being like a reporter, a news anchor for like ESPN. Like that's all that I wanted to do. But once I graduated from college, it was more difficult than I thought.
Right.
They were like, oh,
It's saturated.
yeah, they was like, you need more experience, and then you got to understand Atlanta's a bigger market, so you may not just be able to get a job. You got to go here, then you got to go there, and I was like, oh, hell no.
You gotta work for free.
Right, all of that.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, you know, the thing about having a journalism degree is you can do communications because companies always need that. So don't get fixated on being a reporter and stuff like that. There's other things. And I'm so glad she told me that, and I didn't get discouraged because that's where I started my career. So I've just been doing communications for different companies, and luckily your salary can increase with each year and each other job because, you know, a journalism degree is a tool for real.
Right. So my degree is in film and television. I would say I'm using it, but only for freelance endeavors. I haven't worked for a company technically using my degree yet, but
Your degree from college?
right.
Oh.
Guys are killing me. But I do use it for personal gains. The experience that I got from Clark, Atlanta, working as a producer on Newsbreak, and for a couple other shows, I ran that shit. I worked that shit. Definitely set me up for what I'm doing today. Like with this show, with the help of you guys who were there with me. It definitely has helped me venture out in some other areas. I also have a freelance photography and videography company that definitely wouldn't be what it is today without what I learned from Clark Atlanta University. But as far as my everyday work, I do not use my degree.
So my degree is in radio, TV, film from Clark. I used my degree when I first graduated. I worked on television shows for quite some time. I didn't realize once I got in it that I did not have to have the degree, but I'm glad that I had the background. I worked on reality shows, and then I did scripted, and I left in 2017. I left, I believe. And then now I have my own company, an event rentals company. So no, I'm not using my degree, but a lot of what I've learned through the building of my company, definitely from being in production, I learned so much to help
Like
my
production
business.
is legit hard work. Like to set up a set, break down a set, do whatever to a set. It's hard work. Like if you've never done that before,
For sure.
it is unmatched. Like for real, for real. Like even today, like we were supposed to be filming for a certain time, and then we're an hour and a half late.
Definitely
So
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah, and dealing with different people's personalities as well came into the mix. And you did a great job at that, at trying to produce everything and keep everyone in line, even though certain people aren't having the best of days. And we would be filming early. It's not like it would be the afternoon when people have had time. How early would we start? Sometimes like 8 a.m.? And I would also say just production work isn't easy. You did your best job as a producer, like just keeping everyone in line, because it's not like we would be starting in the afternoon. We'd be starting early, like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., so people are still trying to wake up. People still have issues that they're dealing with, so you got to deal with so many other things in the mix when it comes to production work.
Right, definitely. So I just remember like trying to just make sure everybody had a positive attitude. Like, I'm like, all right, guys, we just got to do this. We got a couple episodes. We got this, and that. Everybody like, let's just get through it. I'm going to coach y'all through it. And it was kind of hard because I'm really not a morning person like that. And I really don't really like people.
There were certain times you would just be irritated, and I'd be like, can we just get through this? Because I know she's ready to be done, I'm ready to be done. Like, and then when you throw a lot of women into the mix as well.
Yeah, because I think you were the only guy.
I may have been one other.
And one other guy.
But he wasn't there, like, consistently.
Which was weird because he went off to work for ESPN.
Right. Yep, that probably goes with men and patriarchy, but that's another episode.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I mean, like, with that being said, do y'all feel like college is a scam? Like, how many people do you know that's in their career versus, well, in their career, in their career using their degrees versus people that's not?
It's not a scam. I don't think that it's a scam. I just think that you really need to weigh your options and not just go because it sounds like the right thing to do, because you can totally waste money. There are so many things you can do and not go to college, or if college is not for you, you should not, if that post-secondary option is not for you,
say that shit.
there may be something else that you can do to where you can still make money. But for me, it was for me, and I knew it, and I wasn't willing to play around and wait a year and then may not end up going. So for me, it worked, but I do understand, and my children, they will go, but for some people, it's not for them. And so
I don't really feel like college is a scam. I feel like it's an experience, and that experience is not for everyone. Like, I feel like when you're in college, that's your first taste. It's like that's 2 sips, by the way.
One.
Okay. So I feel like when you're there, exploring your post-secondary options, it is a continuation of high school, but for adults. Meaning, you don't have your parents there to babysit you, but if you set it up the way that you set high school up, then you have no choice but to succeed. Meaning, you were in high school from what, 8:30 to 4 o'clock?
right.
Yeah.
Set your classes up from 8:30 to 4 o'clock.
It's not always an option, but
Not always an option, but if possible.
But
So discipline. You have to, it helps with so much discipline. Had I not gone, I would have been all over the place. And it's not that I just learned a substantial amount of information that I just retained, because
None of it. I don't remember any of
I
it.
don't remember. It
I
was,
don't even know how
So-
I got
but
my
the
degree,
discipline.
to be honest.
let me chime in, because what all of you are saying is real cute and it sounds real nice.
Okay.
But college,
I do think you should change the word.
it is a
Child.
scam. It
No,
is a
no,
scam.
this
And
is child.
college is a
Okay.
scam, and I'll tell you why.
Another one?
Yes, another one.
Well, he just
Another
said
one. He said it twice.
Yep. Gotta take a sip. All the things that you just mentioned, especially you, Alana, with the whole discipline, you can learn that on your own. You don't have to be at someone's college.
this
to-
Negro.
But I do
So understand that. But not only that, it's like, okay, so the generation before us, I know my moms, they could get a degree and come out making really good money. We got screwed over with the Bush administration, with the whole recession.
Yeah.
So we could have degrees.
My first job was $32,000.
Sure, and that people are lucky to get that, but a lot of people are like, no, you need a master's, or you need to, get some more experience in that and the third. So that's why I say that. And then also, like, depending on your major, you may not be able to use it or may even need it, because everyone doesn't necessarily require it. And so, because we're not necessarily born into wealthy families in the black community, going to college and getting more debt, which everyone isn't fortunate enough to have their college
He said it twice, guys.
paid for, it can put you in a bad state, even if you do graduate.
Yeah.
So the way I feel about it is, so like with me, right? I graduated number 11 in my class in high school. I had Hope Scholarship, Pell Grant, but my cousins didn't give me the game. So don't shout out Chelsea and Melissa. If I had gone to Georgia State or any state school, I could have went for free.
Sure.
But by me going to Clark Atlanta, which was a private school, and there's only 4 private schools in Atlanta: Clark Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, Emory, I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not sure. My Pell Grant and my Hope Scholarship wasn't the same. Like, you got half of your Hope. But if I had gone to Georgia State or any other state schools, hell, Savannah State, I could have went for free. So, scam, I guess, maybe. But if you play your cards right and you have your ducks in a row and you got your scholarships and everything like that and you know what you're doing, you got parents to guide you the correct way, you can come out of there with 0 debt.
But it's not, I said that was one part, but I'm saying the other part is thriving in your careers. You all have your degrees, and yes, you said, well, I use it in this sense and I do it like that. But
I honestly feel like for my kids, right? If my kid is telling me she wants to be in production, baby, don't go to school for that.
Right.
Go intern. Because your 4 years of interning versus your 4 years of college will put you further. If for the person who interned fresh out of high school and I went to college, they're ahead of me.
They are.
Yeah.
So like if
Girl, don't you say jerky, you ain't got no cup.
so like if you are in a career like I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, marine biologist, I don't know, even accounting, business, I'm all for it. But if you want to be in production, if you want to be, you end up being a carpenter.
Well, business is one of them too. I mean, you probably got to go to trade school for that, but I'm saying, like, yeah, even business is one of them.
I feel like people who go to trade school win.
I mean, they do too, but I'm just saying in terms of like business, there's 1,000 flourishing or 1,000,000 flourishing businesses of people who didn't go to college. Right?
Right.
Didn't go to college. The guys who created McDonald's didn't go to college.
Right.
That's 3 times we don't have cups, but y'all go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Just finish that out. Alright.
We behind.
I'm done
Yeah.
with college.
Go ahead.
So I just feel like whatever you're trying to do depends. But another thing is setting up your family or your kids
Sure.
for college when they're young. I didn't have anybody to do that for me, so therefore my kids have college funds. Not only do they have college funds, they have insurance policies that can go towards their college. I didn't have that. So it's all about like how you play the game going forward. Like I feel like we lived through it, we went through it, we know better, you know better, you do better, and you definitely do better for the next generation.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, do y'all want y'all kids to go to college?
Absolutely.
College, sorry, we don't have any
It's such an experience, and everybody knows their children, and then as they get older, I know things can change, but this is literally what my daughter especially is looking forward to walk in those same footsteps of going through those doors and learning that information. She loves school, so it works for her. Everybody's house is different. But for mine, I see them walking in that path, and then if we need to turn and stop and say, hey, this is not a good plan, we'll stop.
Right.
You don't need to be embarrassed. We don't need to have pride about it. We will do what works for you. So whatever works for my children is what they will do.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like for my kids, right, I'm a realist. If you've been that C student all the time, I'm gonna push you to like a craft. Like, I don't really know.
C's still get degrees, right?
Sure.
Okay.
So, as far as my kids, I don't know if I'm pushing them to go to college.
Okay.
Like, I really want to know what their plans are for the future before they get into something that they can't handle or don't really want to do, or in a situation where they're not using the degrees that they have. So I'm chiming into, what do you really like? What are your real passions? And I'm like, okay, well, let's find you an internship, or let's find you an apprenticeship to get you where you need to be if college isn't the thing for you. I'm also looking at what type of student you are, because let's just be real, you have to have the self-discipline for college, and it's really not for everyone. My kids right now are too young for me to determine what they want to do. They're 1 and 3, but when the time happens, I'm here for what they need. I'm still going to keep paying into their college funds, and if they don't choose to go to college, they can have that money to start them a business or another career, something else that they want to do, whether it's trade school or whatever. I'm just not going to throw college on them.
Sure. Okay. So it's interesting. I'm definitely not going to push college on my children, because like I said, it goes back to what can your parents bestow upon you, right? And so going to college doesn't necessarily always guarantee you a job in that field that you want.
Right.
Especially when you already have 2 strikes against you, being black, and that's just what it is.
Okay.
I'll have my own businesses and things set up for my children to either work with me or have the connections and network with other people to automatically work for them, or if they just want to take some time. I don't think people really understand the mental fortitude it takes to do 12 years of school. Like, yeah, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, that shit don't stop.
Right.
We didn't really take off and be like, all right, I'll come back for 10th grade in a year. Yeah. No, you did that completely through. So to do that, and then what? You graduate in May and take a few months off and you're on college campus in August. Right. I think for me it was so weird, because I went from a high school that was small, of maybe 300, 400 students, to Georgia State. Now I'm going to class with over 35, 40,000 plus students. Right. My anxiety was through the roof. Okay. So trying to rush your children to something that they haven't experienced before, it can be a quick burnout.
That's something that I did enjoy about Clark Atlanta. I remember my lit class in my freshman year, it was 9 of us in that class. Like, the teacher definitely knew our names by the second day. Shout out to Carolyn Hall.
Right on.
Young Hall.
That's all.
But it was just an experience. Like, the classroom settings were so small and it was so personal that I did love that. And if I could give my kids that type of situation, it would be, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. Even like now when I'm picking their daycares, it's, how many kids do you have in here? Is my child going to get some one-on-one time? Will you learn my child's name? Because I don't want them to be student number 100, Like, I want them to be personal in their interactions, and I want them to be able to go to their teacher and the teacher know them, like, hey, you're Miles, you're Zion, yada, 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 period. Going on to our current event segment, I was looking up the prices of colleges, and I realized that Clark Atlanta is about $23,000. Do y'all feel like college is too expensive nowadays? Like, what's your experiences with it?
Hell yeah, it's way too expensive. And all the different things they be charging for that you'll never use. I don't even think I used the Georgia State gym once. I ain't going there at all.
What about the meal plan?
No, because especially after my freshman year, it was over with.
Yeah, it was over with.
The fact that, like, I remember Clark Atlanta made freshmen pay for everything. You had to get housing, you had to get a meal plan.
And I did not use that meal plan. I went home and got some real food.
Me too.
I did not. I was not about to eat with laxatives in my food.
You feel like fried chicken Wednesday?
Fried chicken Wednesday was the only fried chicken Wednesday. That's it.
All the time. Great.
Big ass.
But they put that laxative to make sure they keep the college students regular, and I was not for that.
Well, I probably would appreciate that.
Y'all gotta look it up. Yeah.
So, nah, I was definitely in that cab on Wednesday for that fried chicken Wednesday, but they ain't never have no wing or no breast. It was just thighs and legs. Like,
I slide through the Wild Cafe too, though. Ain't that what that was called? What they had the chicken tender boxes? What was that little restaurant beside?
At night.
Yeah.
I definitely went there for the that honey mustard was busting. Jasmine Cafe with the smoothies on my CAU card.
Yeah, man. In this economy, like everything is so expensive, and like I said, I don't know how certain single parents do it because. Let's say if you're with someone, you're married and stuff like that, and y'all are both more financially stable, yeah, it can maybe work. But for other people, most people, that is not their families. It may just be them and their grandma or them and their mom, and that for one person is expensive, and that's why people get loans all the time.
Right. I remember the kids, the few kids that had a 2-parent household.
Okay.
In college, and what their dorm rooms was like versus my dorm room, which was I didn't have any parents at home,
right? And
I'm just at college.
You had a small TV in there.
I didn't even have a TV. I had
a small fridge and everything.
Yeah, I stayed in the suite, so
the suites came with the fridge.
Sweet life,
Sweet life for me too.
Right, sweet life. It came with the fridge, but I don't remember having a TV or anything like that. I think I just watched TV on my laptop. But I thought it was cool for the kids who did have their parents, and like their dynamic was a little bit different. And that is one thing that I did enjoy about college. You met people who walked that same walk that you walked. Like for the people who grew up with no parents, or the people who grew up with 2 parents, or a dysfunctional household, you met your match in college. Like. Not even a relationship, but friendship wise.
Yeah. That was always friends out of struggle sounds crazy. Yeah. I'm happy for y'all. But that's right, that is wild. But no, it's just like I said, when people drop out of college, like the first semester or the first year, it makes complete sense because that is a lot. People be going to college broke, no money in their pocket, their parents can't send nothing, nobody from their family can send nothing. And you need all of these different things to survive. And it's just
I definitely feel like it's all about networking in college because once I got there, it was on my mind, I need to stay here. So I did whatever I needed to do to be there. Whether that meant I was in the financial aid office in June because we got out of school in May.
Sure.
Like, what scholarships y'all got? You say I need to be left-handed? What religion I need to be?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so like I definitely feel like that's where you get your hustle game from. Like, period. But to answer the question, do I feel like college is too expensive? Hell fucking yeah. Like they need to sell a cap for that shit. Like,
and then figure out where all of this money is going because if the damn classroom still look tore up, the AC in this building ain't working.
One classroom we had desks.
Man,
like the desks we had in high school.
There's so many different
with
things.
the basket under the bottom.
had this.
No, that's not okay.
So yeah, that's a big issue. College is way too expensive.
But the line is immaculate. Warehouse still not open.
Wow.
I don't think. If it is, I'm sorry. Y'all got something else to say? No. Alright, well. Alright, so with that being said, that concludes our episode of Krisp Konversations. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram under Blowing My Horn. It will be down low.
Y'all can follow me at gracious_gift3.
Follow me at A Touch of Lux, ATLLUXE Lux.
And I'm A Hepto too.
Thank y'all. Always remember, keep it crispy.
Peace, y'all.